my dear students, my dear researchers, my dear scholars, we are looking into the history and how the Roman Empire, in fact, presented the thoughts of management and leadership. Not only leadership, but how the Roman army presented to you and to us those concepts which ultimately became part of the content of strategic management. So strategies, leadership, and of course, trading and commerce in the form of economics later on. These were the ideas which were emerging in the management as we go on looking into the governance structure of the Roman Empire. Roman Empire, remember from 100 BC, we have reached now at a point around 300 AD. 400 saal ho chuke. And everything which goes to the top has to come down. So it's the time now around 300 AD when the Roman Empire starts weakening. Why? On one hand, if you look at the map of Europe, they were governing Spain and Portugal, Slavic people. On the other hand, they were into the Byzantine, which is known today as Turkey. They were part of the Middle East, Arabia, and of course, the Northern Europe, Germany, France, and UK. Although the trade was more focused on the agriculture sector, but the focus of the Roman Empire was more to capture the land. And if you look around into the African region, Egypt, Libya as of today, and all the way to Morocco, this was all Roman Empire, which was one way or the other governing the northern part of Africa. So in 300 AD, when the Roman Empire starts getting weakening, what happened then? The western half, in other words, the Germany, Spanish, and French part of the Europe, they gradually became independent in the form of the independent states. और आपको याद होगा, हमने आपसे शेयर किया था कि इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट्स का तस्वर उस जमाने में सिटी स्टेट्स का था. जैसे इटली के अंदर फ्लोरेंस, रोमा, वेनिस, that's how the cities, Madrid, Berlin, that's how the city governance and the city structure in the form of management was being taken care of. And how about the eastern half? In other words, the eastern half was still under the control of the Roman Empire, which was known in those days as Byzantine Empire. और आज भी अगर आप देखें तो इस्तांबुल का जो शहर है उसका जो ईस्टर्न पार्ट है और वेस्टर्न पार्ट है across the river. Western part is in Europe. That is what is known as the Byzantine headquarter in those days. And the eastern part now is part of the mainland Turkey. So Byzantine Empire still survived. It was still being challenged, but it was being controlled by the Roman Empire. Who were challenging them? Well, new forces were coming up. New empires were coming up. The Byzantine Empire was being challenged by Persians. Persian Empire was coming up. And even by the Indian Empire. So this means the Roman Empire from 100 AD, 100 BC to 500 AD, 600 साल तकरीबन कह लीजिए, इनका दौरे हुकूमत रहा, इनका उरूज रहा और फिर इनका ज़वाल हुआ. और आपको अगर याद हो, रिकॉल कीजिए कि नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जब दुनिया में तशरीफ लाए, emergence of Islam around 650-57 AD. Still, the Roman Empire was in power. And it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is written in Quran that in a few years Rome will be conquered. But anyhow, around 500, 600 AD, Roman Empire was still most economically powerful entities of the ancient world. Egyptian corn, Spanish and Palestinian olives, they were basically the form of internal trade and the source of revenue. Agriculture sector, all was being used by Romans for trade. And trade was going on across Asia, China, and India. But the concept of Roman Republic and the Roman Empire, it was inherited in form of the governance structure from the philosophical concepts and from the philosophical thoughts of Greek. But naturally, with the passage of time, the Roman Empire goes down, but still their administrative structure, strategic concepts, leadership role models are being still used in the Western part of the world. Thank you.